Yeah. And I only think I know how to play.
Watch out for the court.
Yeah.
Hi, good morning. Nice to meet you. Sure. Wherever you'd like. Sure. Yeah. And you need to send me a agenda out. Shows how well like your reminder
There's no front room anymore. This is the first time.
I'm like,
Yeah.
this one. Great.
I was a little worried because no, like natural light. You know, out there we have the windows, but it's not bad back here.
It's kind of nice without
Yeah.
the.
Okay. She's getting almost ready.
Awesome. I'm gonna do a quick intro. That's all right.
Go for it.
Unless you want to do it.
That's fine.
Okay.
your show.
Hey guys, thanks for being here. My name is Jason Botwell. I'm with, did I just totally steal your thunder?
You're fine. You're
All
fine.
All right, so.
You can just run the whole meeting. That'd be
Yeah.
great.
I don't do
No
much
idea.
anyway. so.
Okay, so my name is Jason. I'm with Pro Resources. We're an HR outsourcing firm. We've got about 19 customers in Perham, including Soda Property Management, Soda Lake Properties that just came on board with us here about a week ago. We have any Pro customers in the room? Awesome. Hopefully you like us. We do a good job for it. Okay, so there's 4 reasons that people do business with us. 4 reasons that people outsource HR to us. The first reason is capacity. In order to handle HR internally, you have to have the time availability to do it. By outsourcing HR to us and one of our fabulous and talented HR directors like Ashley, you free up some time. So capacity is reason number 1. Expertise is reason number 2. If you happen to stump us on an HR issue, we have a legal team on retainer, so you don't have to pay legal fees for those types of sticky issues. Another category that people appreciate our HR services is when there's a fight between a couple folks internally, it's really hard to play King Solomon in that situation. There's relationships in place, and no matter what the ruling might be, in an internal dispute, there's going to be some lingering feelings that come along with that. So sometimes outsourcing to a third-party arbiter like us is a good thing just for internal camaraderie purposes. Outsourcing HR to Pro Resources includes a technology package. Log in, see your payroll, see your deductions, manage all your benefits, look back at last year's tax statements, et cetera, et cetera. And then the fourth is, well, what's the fourth, Ashley? Let's see, technology, expertise, capacity, and you get to do business with Ashley. There is a fourth I can't think about that in my head. Ashley is going to talk a little bit this morning about competing in a competitive employer landscape. How do you get the right people? How do you retain the right people? And how do you use that to your advantage? That's it. Thank you for your time. I'll be sitting in the back of the room if you have any questions. Otherwise, Ashley's going to take it. Awesome.
Thanks, Jason.
Let me know when I'm up next.
Okay. You got it.
All right. Well, good morning, everyone. Like Jason mentioned, my name is Ashley. I'm one of our human resources directors at Pro Resources. So recruitment and retention, it's tough right now, right? Yeah. So I'm going to go through a few different things to hopefully help you guys in that regard and get some more people in the door for you. I just want to kind of set the scene here, some workforce facts. In May of 2023, so just last month, there was 9.6 million job openings. The U.S. birth rate has been on a steady decline since 1970, so that is over 70 years. Baby boomers are leaving the workforce in droves, frankly. 2+ million retired early due to COVID. There was 1 million deaths due to COVID. There's a 24% increase in entrepreneurs that have been created, which is great in some regard for the economy, but also challenging to find employees. So all of these paint a pretty grim picture. So if you're feeling like you haven't had applicants, there you go. That's why. Right? So what can we do? There's a couple of things. One of the main things is keeping the good people that you have. So we'll go through a few different strategies and ways to do that. One thing that I want to encourage you, it costs $0. It is probably one of the most effective things you can do, is I want to challenge you to give your employees a 10-second thank you. Really get down to the why, of why they helped you, what they did that made an impact on your company, on your business that day. If you've gotten in the habit, like a lot of us, of just like walking by and saying, hey, thanks, Jason, appreciate that, instead of going, I really appreciated how you introduced me. I loved the facts that you gave about Pro, how we help, and what we can do to help companies. See how it's a little bit different, feels a little bit different than just a thank you. So I guarantee you, if you start getting in the habit of doing some of those things, your employees will appreciate it and it will make an impact. All right. So turnover, recruitment, and retention. So employees stay when they're paid well, mentored, challenged, promoted, involved, trusted, empowered, and valued. I don't think that's any big surprise, but a lot of those things, start with you guys. So if any of those hit for you or resonate with you in terms of, yeah, I could empower my employees more, or I could mentor them more, I challenge you to take that and run. If there's someone on your team that you want to see be the next generation, show them, tell them. All right. So some more power in retention. I've had a lot of experience, as Jason mentioned, we do have a technology platform. I've had a lot of experience with clients that they maybe have not invested in any technology, which I'm not saying you have to go out and buy the most expensive technology platform, not at all. But if employees expect to have technology make their job easier or better. So if you think about the millennials, the oldest millennials are 40 years old. They grew up with computers. They're used to it. So if you think about your average workforce, they're used to working on computers. They're used to that. They expect computers to make their lives better, easier. They expect it to make their work better, easier. So having a technology platform can be really impactful in that regard. Transparency is also a driver of engagement. The more transparent we can be with our employees, the more engaged they're going to be. The more they feel invested in the process, the more that they feel involved. So that's another thing we can do. Flexibility also became, I think it was big prior to COVID, but I think COVID forced the issue a little bit more in terms of flexibility. It's become one of the biggest things that employees look for in a position. So if things like flexibility aren't something that you can offer to your current employees, try to make something else more enticing. If flexibility isn't it, maybe pay is, maybe recognition is. Do those 10-second thank yous. All right. So a couple other retention strategies before we'll get into some recruitment ideas. Surveys. If you haven't done any surveys with your employees, this can be a really great tool. In my capacity as an HR director, I've also used them for conflict resolution. So if you have two employees that maybe aren't getting along, what I've done is I've had them do personality assessments, essentially. There's a ton of them out there. There's StrengthsFinder, 6 Working Geniuses, DISC Profile. There's even some you can find online that are free or not that expensive. So they can be a really great tool to kind of level the playing field. They can also be a really great tool to get a better understanding of your employees, either aptitude, capacity, or even desire for a better role, an increased management role, that kind of thing. So they can be really helpful. And like I said, they don't have to cost a lot at all. Stay interviews are also a really great tool. I have some clients that get in the habit of working with their employees on, maybe a quarterly basis, where they ask them, what keeps you here? What do you like about working here? And just having that information can be huge. That can help, with your retention also. And furthermore, another great strategy is taking the answers that you get from those state interviews. And I've had clients have really great success just making some short videos about those ideas. They don't have to be overproduced. You can shoot them with a cell phone. In fact, they feel more authentic if they're just, real. Another thing is employee assistance programs. So again, COVID coming out of it, we have seen a lot of mental health concerns. And if you don't have an employee assistance program, that's perfectly fine. We do offer one at Pro. And if you notice an employee is maybe struggling, if they seem like they're having mental health concerns, the one thing that I hope you remember is the number 988. So this is it's a free national mental health and crisis helpline. So they can call or text any time of day. If you see someone that's struggling, give them that number. Sorry, I have some notes. I have a lot of things I just don't want to forget. So let's see, your recruitment metrics. So this would be, your time to fill the position, how many applicants you need per role, your offer acceptance rate. So how many offers do you send out that are accepted? We hope all of them. And then your cost to hire. So how much money do you have in your recruitment? How much time did it take to fill that role? How much lost revenue do you have because that role is vacant? And then how much you're going to pay that person. And then your first year attrition rate. So it's very interesting. These are some metrics that I run on my end for certain clients. How many people leave a company within the first year? Really common in certain industries, not so common in others. But knowing that rate and finding out, if it's a high rate, you want to know why, right? I mean, is it management? Is it supervisors? Is it they just found something else? You want to know the why if they're leaving in the first year.
I don't think you're sliding forward.
I'm still on this slide.
Oh, you are.
Yeah. Another thing is building an excellent employer brand and industry recognition. So if you have industry recognition, you're probably on your way or already an employer of choice. Employer of choice, it's a term that is used to kind of indicate a company that people want to work with. Like think of Google or Facebook before the tech layoffs. People want to work there. So if you have some industry recognition and have built a good employer brand, you're going to get more applicants. Then developing out your leadership team as well. All right, so how do we develop that leadership team? So first and foremost, you want to understand if our people that we want to be leaders actually want to be leaders. So giving them those surveys, having open conversations with them about that can really be beneficial. Another thing that you can do is have a really great training program. We have a training platform at Pro. There's clients that I work with that I recommend certain trainings to if they have a supervisor that's coming into a role. Maybe they don't have any supervisor experience, but they're going to be thrust into this role either by choice or natural attrition. And we can help, get their skills to the point where that supervisor wants. All right. And then recruitment. So first off, what you want, if you're trying to recruit for a position, the first thing that I would recommend is doing a job analysis. So determining if you actually need to hire for this position, what that looks like, what the cost is going to be projected, that kind of thing. Can the duties be absorbed by other employees or not? Maybe even if it can, maybe you're on a growth trajectory and you really don't want that. So just determining that needs assessment before you begin. And then you'd want to create an effective job posting and a job description. So if you're not aware, there's a difference between a job description and a job posting. So your job posting is basically gonna be your marketing vehicle. It's gonna say, hey, everybody, come work for us because we are a great company and we do all these awesome things and you're gonna get to do super cool things. It's your marketing vehicle. Your job description is more of a internal document that you're gonna have for the employee that outlines exactly their duties. If they ever had a medical restriction, it would be submitted to their physician to correlate what they can do physically. It indicates if they're gonna be standing, walking, bending, stretching, anything like that. So it needs to be very structured. Again, your job posting is your marketing vehicle. Your job description is your more of a document that goes in your employee file. And then also, if you don't have at the bottom of your job descriptions all other duties as assigned, you'll want to make sure to go add that. That can be helpful. I've seen that actually litigated. It's not, yeah, it's a funny situation, but it's not something you want to go through, I promise. All right, and then developing a positive candidate experience. So you want your candidate to feel welcome, you want them to be happy that they're there. So creating that environment to the best of your ability within the budgets that you have is gonna create that experience that you want. It's gonna help them stay longer, it's gonna help them feel like part of the team. They expect that process, the process of submitting their application, getting the interview, that kind of thing, they expect it to be seamless, easy. In some cases, technologically driven. And then having an internal versus an external versus a non-traditional candidate. So you want to determine, is this a position that we can fill internally? If not, or if so, does that leave a vacancy? If not, where do we look externally? Do we know somebody? And then considering non-traditional candidates. So that would be maybe like a veteran that has retired that, you know, really doesn't wanna or need to work full-time. Maybe the position can be filled by 2 part-time. Excuse me, my allergies. Can be filled by 2 part-time positions. So that would be your non-traditional candidates. Another thing within your hiring process, if you have been in the practice of asking your new hires to complete non-competition or non-compete agreements, you'll want to make sure to stop doing that effective July 1. That is a new Minnesota law that just passed. And then also as part of that process, if you've been in the habit of completing drug tests, you'll want to make sure to look at your panel and see if marijuana is on there. All right, here's some resources. The Society for Human Resources Management, short SHRM, is it's a great resource. They have a lot of tools there. Harvard Business Review, also depending on what it is that you're looking for. The Power of State interviews, that can really help kind of hone in on your retention efforts. Cure for the Common Company is a great resource to set your culture apart. And then Start with the Why or Leaders Eat Last is just a great overall general leadership book. All right. Anyone have any questions? Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So with the recruitment process and the job analysis.
Yep.
So, as an accountant, I process payroll for some businesses in the area. And when a business transitions into the spot of needing somebody or maybe needing somebody, I always get the question, what's it gonna cost?
Yep.
I'm like, okay, well, think about your wages, think about the payroll taxes, your insurance, the time of training that's less efficient, things like that, and then turnover. Is there any kind of resource or a tool that can kind of do a fill in the blank job analysis? Like, do you need somebody to answer these questions? Is that a thing? Because a lot of people are very question, answer now.
Yeah.
And it is kind of ridiculous, but they want the answer and they want it quick and easy. And I'm like, huh? Freaking no, I'm not a I don't get it. I mean, I had a guy take over a business, for instance, doing doing some care work for DNR.
Yeah.
So they're spraying, they're doing controlled burns, they're doing all this stuff. He's like, should I buy equipment new or used? I'm like, what are you buying? Like,
Yeah.
a tractor? No clue.
Right.
But he's looking at hiring somebody for the fall, and I mean, when this came up, I'm like, then he talked about it for like 20 minutes. I'm like, okay, Joe, I'm sorry, I don't know what tractor to buy. It's not there. So is
Accountant, not tractor salesperson.
Okay. So is there a reference or something that I could get them, or something that you guys use that would help them, like, just to kind of get their ball rolling?
Yeah, sure. The Society for Human Resources Management does have a template. So I would look on there. That's what I use.
Perfect, thank you.
July 1, you said, could be clause. for
Correct.
Business, so business, let's say a business sold through the same thing, or is it just individuals?
So if you're a business and you have your new employees that start after July 1, you can no longer ask them, well, you can ask them, but if your non-compete is not, then you need to be fine.
How about you sold your business and then you want to start another business as well?
When?
Well,
After July 1?
No, it's individual.
Yeah.
individuals only.
Mhm.
Okay, not business. People still have to be clause.
Yeah. Yeah, and any prior existing non-competes are not affected by that. However, it'll be kind of interesting to see, what transpires in the legal system as time goes on with that, to see if, they're actually litigating some of that, or at least finding cases with some of that or not. Anything else?
I've got one.
Yeah,
And this is a real question, because I don't know the answer to it.
Okay.
But this, Governor Walz just signed off on Minnesota paid, I forget exactly
Yep.
what those called, but there's new leave regulations.
Yep.
How does that impact small businesses, or what do you know about that, Ashley?
yeah, so there's a couple actually. So there's the earned sick and safe leave, which is effective 1/1. That requires employers to provide 48 hours of paid leave to every employee that works 80 hours or more.
80 hours or more per month.
Total.
So somebody could work for 2 weeks.
Yep.
And get 48 hours of paid leave.
Yep. However, they have to be working there to actually get it. So it's kind of, they're not probably gonna actually utilize that time off that they've earned, but they earn 1 hour for every 30 hours worked after the 80. So I should take that back. They still earn on the 80 when they're first starting, but they can't actually utilize it until after they have worked 80 hours.
And what is that called again?
Earned sick and safe leave. Mhm. Yep, and then there is the paid leave, which I think you might be referring to, that Governor Walz just signed off on, that is effective 1/1/26. That is a shared employer and employee contribution at 0.35% each. So for a couple years, it's gonna be pretty heavy on the employer side to provide that leave to employees. And then after that, as effective 1/1/26, it'll be a shared.
That's from the state, right? Because
Uh,
like big business is probably paying a lot more, and small business probably can get some of that money.
From my understanding, it is every company's required. If you have one employee,
But I
yeah.
mean, on percentage, that money's all going to the state, and KLM
Oh.
is paying a heck of a lot bigger percentage.
Sure,
than that.
right. Mhm.
How do you do a bigger percentage? You're
Well,
both paying
once you-
0.35.
Well, once you guys, if you're paying 3% in, it's going to the state, and you're not using it, someone's.
That's true whether you're a small business or a big business.
Yeah.
One year you might have a bad year, one year you.
But would they be limited? Or are they just gonna go into the fund? Is it gonna be one big massive general fund? That's what I.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So is there,
It'll be like on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
is there an age thing, because I can see like summer help, school kids, that
Yeah,
Seasonal workers are excluded.
she's at that.
But of course, all the wheels are turning.
Yeah.
Right?
all right.
Yeah.
Any
It's gonna affect-
Does he have an non-compete?
That's a good idea.
All right, thank you guys.
Works for us
Appreciate
and
it.
All right. Thank you, Ashley. Right. Lots of good information there. Use Pro Resource as a resource. You need them, so. So good morning, everyone. Welcome to Power Hour. That was our first half. Actually, we got a special treat for you today. 2 EDA Education Series presenters. So that was our first half. Next, we have Cedar Walters, Public Information and Education Officer of Otter Tail County. She's going to talk to us about organic recycling, food waste drop-off in Perham, and other updates.
Wonderful, thank you.
Give her a second to.
Other
put
people
up
are
her
here.
slides.
Well, it's always funny, so my title is so long and people are like, what does that mean? So sometimes I like to describe myself as a professional recycling and composting cheerleader or a traveling recycling help desk. So I'm here to answer all your burning questions. Hopefully this works. If not, I'll fly without it. So while I'm waiting for that to wake up, a couple of general updates before I get into the food waste drop-off topic. Household hazardous waste collection is coming up in Perham on Thursday, July 13th, so mark your calendars. Load those paint cans in your car, rechargeable batteries, used oil, all that good stuff, and bring it on over to the city's Public Works facility.
We're not allowed to just throw them in the river.
Maybe. There we go.
What
Perfect.
was the date? My apologies.
Yep, so that is Thursday, July 13th from 10 to 2. And really, rechargeable batteries are a big one. I really like to just stress that those can't go in the garbage or recycling. If they're punctured, which if you have big equipment at a solid waste facility or a recycling facility, if you run over a battery that has lithium in it, it can spontaneously combust. So this is actually the leading cause of fires at recycling and waste facilities is rechargeable batteries that people have just thrown, not really realizing, the risk that poses. We had a near miss 2 summers ago at one of our transfer stations, and luckily an employee saw smoke and was able to pull that battery out of a giant pile of recycling filled with paper before it really, took part of the building with it. So it can be really serious. So paint, stain, batteries, oil, fluorescent light bulbs, limit of 10. Business owners can bring lots of fluorescent bulbs to the facility in Fergus Falls anytime for a small fee. And we do get that, like thousands of bulbs at a time. If you're doing like an LED retrofit, we do see large amounts come in. Just let us know and we can help you handle that. Another really quick thing coming up Wednesday, July 5th. We're helping out with some of the Art in the Park events that the New York Mills Cultural Center puts on. So we will actually be at the Perham Library Wednesday, July 5th from 12:30 to 2:30. So if you've got any kids that are into art and creative stuff, we're going to be bringing our pop-up recycling lab there to do some fun recycling activities and maybe get kind of a recycled art piece going in the library in Perham. So that's exciting. All right, we're also working on a single sort grant project. So we've been hearing from our residents for years that really people want more access to recycling. And of course, when you make something easier, people will do it more. And we really do want people to recycle more. So we're kind of in the middle of some planning and looking to the future. How do we expand access to single sort recycling across Otter Tail County, recognizing that we are a really large county with a lot of different types of communities that people live in, from sparse rural areas to really dense lakeshore to some communities. So look for more updates about that in the future. We're also rebuilding our Henning transfer station. That's actually part of kind of looking strategically at some of our infrastructure. How do we build up some of our infrastructure so we can handle more recycling? Because we're really kind of maxed out in a way right now. So we're just really doing some planning, because one big goal we have as a department is to move towards zero landfilling. That might be this point in the future that's so far off it will take us decades to get there. but that's sort of the direction we're trying to go, and so expanding access to recycling, boosting up some composting programming is all part of that kind of road we're on to get towards zero landfilling. So onto the composting update part. I just mostly wanted to share some pictures, because this can be kind of a new thing in our area, especially the large scale composting part. This is just a quick picture of where our garbage goes in Otter Tail County. So of course, the Perham Resource Recovery Facility is right here in town. We've really prioritized that as a waste strategy because it is better environmentally actually to use waste to energy rather than landfilling. So that's that yellow slice that's so big. We can recover some additional recyclables that way, shrink the waste by about 80%, and then provide some energy to local businesses. So that's just, it's a good thing to support. Some of our waste, the orange slice there, does still go to a landfill in North Dakota because we just don't have enough room at the current facility. Of course, blue is recycling. That's the slice. We're really going to work on trying to make that slice of the pie bigger. And then there's a teeny tiny green slice at the top, which is what we're starting to tackle, getting food waste out of the garbage. I have a science background, and so I love playing with data. And we have done some household waste audits over the past, 8 years now. Every couple of years we do one where we take a certain number of garbage carts from the same neighborhood every time. Totally anonymous though. We're not spying on people with their garbage. Somebody actually thought that and got very upset. We're not. We're just measuring what's in the garbage. What are people actually throwing away? What categories does that fall into? So this is in Fergus Falls, but Perham would be very similar because you both have access to curbside single sort recycling. So this is kind of the picture that we have. So about 54% of what people throw away at home is just trash, stuff that we can't really deal with any other way. Sadly, 14% is still recycling, even with those handy curbside carts. Come on, people. But really the alarming part here is that more than a quarter of people's garbage could be composted if we could help people actually kind of deal with that part of their garbage and support them through composting at home or through getting food waste out of the garbage with organics recycling. I won't go super deep into the impacts of food waste, but really environmentally it's pretty terrible. We waste 40% of the food we produce in this country, which wastes all the resources that went into making it. Soil, health, water, labor, fuel to run equipment, packaging. It's just really, this is not good, and not enough people know about it. We throw away tons of money. It's like dropping a bag of groceries in the parking lot when you're leaving the store and not picking it up. We're throwing away money along with all that food. And actually that was from a couple of years ago. It's probably more than 2,000 gallons. 26 to 27% of what we throw away is food. And then a quarter of our scarce freshwater resources are used to make food that we don't eat because we throw it away. So it's a big problem and we're just trying to tackle it. So we had a grant, started about a year and a half ago, where we were providing more access for backyard composting for our residents. We gave out 500 backyard compost bins with this grant funding we got. Is anybody in here one of those composters? Oh, thank goodness. Yes, thank you for doing that.
We're avid composters.
Oh, my hero.
Yeah.
My hero. Okay, so we gave out 500 backyard compost bins, including to this fine fellow here.
Yeah.
And then in exchange, we said, we want some data from you. So you got annoying text messages every 2 weeks saying, how many times did you empty your compost pail? Keep going. Professional composting cheerleader. So we collected data. So out of those 500 people, and not everybody responded. I know you responded every time. I'm sure of it.
I'll show you the receipts.
So not everybody responded, but even with not everybody responding, we estimated it was about 20,000 pails of food waste that people collected over 1 year. That's over 60,000 pounds of food kept out of the garbage just because people were doing it at home. We live in a rural area primarily. We don't need to be throwing food in the garbage. So really that was exciting to see what people could do when they all did it together. There are still a few available, mostly in Fergus Falls. We did a reduced price sale this year instead of a giveaway because we were out of our grant funding. So reach out if you want one. It's awesome. And then organics recycling. So this is kind of the big new thing that I've been heading up, and really this is composting, but where it gets totally taken away. You don't have to deal with this on your own. If you're a school, a restaurant, healthcare, you can't deal with thousands of pounds of food waste on your site and hope to compost it in any way that would be manageable. It would not be good. And so this really, organics recycling is a pickup route for large amounts of food waste from participating businesses and schools. And then it delivers it to a commercial compost facility that's really designed to handle all kinds of food waste, including meat, bones, dairy, you name it. If it's food or a certified compostable product, it can go in there. So big thank you actually to Purdue Pizza Ranch. They were one of our first participants in the grant funded program. So they really were getting hundreds of pounds of food waste out of the garbage for all the last year. So if you see anyone that works at Pizza Ranch, thank them for doing that because it really.
He's
gonna take credit.
Take the credit,
You're
Danny.
helping fill the bin out back. So you can, if you drive around the back, you'll see some green carts back there. This is Williams. Williams Company in Otter Tail started recently. Beach Bums on Otter Tail started recently. We've also got St. Henry's School here in Perham doing it, and then Perham Health as well. And we are looking for more places in Perham. We would love to see more people on this route. We contract with Steve Sanitation. So every Friday they come up, they pick up, well now it's like 25 locations. So they'll empty out your carts filled with compostable waste. Take it off your hands. You can still feel great about what you're doing for the environment to help us reach zero landfilling or go in that direction. So there's one of our first loads. That was about 4,000 pounds when the program first started. There's that Steve Sanitation truck driver giving a thumbs up. So they basically do that every week. And it gets brought to this large commercial facility where it's piled in bunkers with yard waste and it gets composted down in a matter of like 60 to 90 days. So they can handle a lot of volume. So in the first year, we kept about 300,000 pounds of food waste out of the garbage. So that's just really exciting. Even more exciting, I think, I like to think individual action really does matter. So we started our first individual food waste drop-off in Fergus Falls and the trial in March. So that's where at home, you can put your food, if you don't want to compost on your own, or you live in an apartment or don't have a backyard, whatever, you can still get your food waste out of the garbage. So I've been excited to work on getting this out as an option for more residents. So just like a business or a school, you would put your food scraps in a pail lined with a compostable bag, like this, or like that one. There's lots of different styles available. Collect your food scraps in there and drop it off in a green bin. So we have one in Fergus Falls. We're actually installing one in Battle Lake today, this afternoon. And then actually Perham is up next. So probably hopefully by the 4th of July, maybe by the fair, we will have a food waste drop-off in Perham by the Perham Resource Recovery Facility, where you come into town to drop off your recycling. So I have info sheets that I will pass around. One of the first R's that I like to think of is refuse. So if you don't want a sheet, you don't need to take one. But here is one I'll pass around that has general information about organics recycling, has my contact info on the back, shows some pictures of the facility and the process it goes through. The other one is kind of how and why we would do the drop-off site as a resident. So feel free to grab that. We have a great intern this summer whose main project actually is working on the food waste drop-off site. So she'll be handling some signups. She'll be at some community events, including the fair. So we'll get you connected to her and she can get you signed up if you're interested.
What do they do with those tons of compost? What do they call it?
So the facility that I was just showing, I won't go back. It's actually in Grant County. It's operated by Pope and Douglas Solid Waste. These are really multi-million-dollar facilities. Not every county needs to build one. They're meant to be regional facilities. So all the waste goes to this facility. It's about an hour away, and they compost it. And they're just in their beginning stages. So eventually it will be marketed though as a sellable product for garden centers. Also some large municipal projects like, you've built a road and all the topsoil is destroyed. You can kind of build that back up with compost. So the goal, yes.
What happens in winter when it keeps going out in there, doesn't it freeze?
Yep, it freezes, but freezing makes food mushy and so it breaks down faster. When it thaws in the spring, it will just start decomposing. Yep. So the goal, and then we can certainly hit on any questions you want. The goal is to really shrink down this landfill portion as much as possible. So if we can increase recycling, increase composting and food recovery, really helps us start getting towards that zero landfilling that we're looking for. Any other questions? Reach out anytime, grab my contact info on that sheet, yes.
What about animal infestation? Run over the country, if
Oh, yeah.
posted and stuff, they would bring animals in.
Yep,
Yeah, there's a
so,
bear by my house.
oh, yeah. So a few people have issues, so the bins that we have provided in the past have a locking lid, and that keeps out most critters. A bear, I don't know what would withstand a bear, but the lid locks on, and if you use some best practices, like at home, you would never wanna put meat or dairy or bones in your backyard bin, because that's gonna attract raccoons, skunks, bears, etc. So if you keep it at home, now in the drop-off one, that's different, they can take meat, bones, everything. But at home, if you avoid those things, that helps, and if you use some best practices. Remember any?
I did, yeah, no, I just throw it in the back. What you just said, no meat, dairy, bones,
Excellent,
throw it in, stir it up every now and again.
okay,
It's
what
real
do you
hot.
put on top?
Water, I gotta water my compost,
What else?
a lot of grass clippings.
Okay,
I don't know all the
dry
practices.
stuff?
Dry,
Were you lasagna layering?
I just threw it all in.
Oh.
Trevor.
Okay, so, but using the best practices and covering the food waste with dry fluffy leaves really reduces a lot of those issues. I can send out more information. If anybody's interested in learning more, we just have some training materials, and I can send it to people. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Makes the garbage fun.
That's right.
All right. Reminder too, anyone who hasn't signed up for the giveaways, we've got a lot of them today. We've got from Zorba's Pizza Ranch, we've got the buffet from Pizza Ranch. We've got the Cactus gift card and Lakeside Tap gift card, and our next presenter actually brought some Woody and Lynn tickets to give away. So Kate Henniger from Firm Center for the Arts is here to talk about their summer concert series and whatever else they got going on.
All right, sounds good. Hi, everybody. So if you don't know, after 10 years of being a board member for the Firm Center for the Arts, I've switched gears, and now I'm actually the executive director, as well as all the other jobs I have in life. Dan was making fun of me as I came in, but I said, just ask a busy person, and we just keep getting stuff done. So yes, we are kicking off our summer concert series Thursday as part of Turtle Fest. We are bringing in Chopper DJ. It's a family show. You will have fun giveaways for the kids, all sorts of wacky things for them to do, fun stuff to do. That starts from 6 to 9 this Thursday. And then throughout the rest of the summer, you can grab one of these if you want, or we have it on our website. We have got a number of other acts scheduled for Thursday nights here in Perham, kind of piggybacking on the lake nights on Maine, people wanting to come in town on Thursday nights and have some fun. We just decided like 2 weeks ago to try to add food trucks to every night. So we're doing pretty good. I only have 2 nights I'm still looking for food trucks on. So we will have a food truck this Thursday out at the center as well. This is a rain or shine event. If it rains, we just move inside the building instead. And then we have our big concert of the summer coming up on June 24th. That is Twitty and Lynn. This will be at the high school, old high school auditorium, so that we can seat more people. Tickets for that are on sale on our website, at the chamber, at PS I Love You Boutique, at my shop, at the quilt shop, if you want to stop there. This is actually the grandchildren of the country music duo. So this is Woody and Lynn's grandchildren, and they bring a whole big show. So they do a huge video production on stage while they are singing their grandparents' favorite songs and kind of telling stories about them. So that's what's coming for the summer, along with some really fun pottery classes. We received a grant from the Lake Region Arts Council to put a kiln in the basement of the center. So we are doing kids classes, adult classes that will actually run August through December. Every month you'll get to make something different and fun. We also have a grant coming in from the State Arts Board that will be Arts for All. So this will be working with Productive Alternatives, Perm 180, some of those programs.
bringing arts to those people, and that will be through the fall through the spring. What else is happening? We are almost done with construction, so we have been renting it for weddings. That sort of thing is coming up. And we are this close to booking a big band concert at the center in the fall. So look for that to come as well. All right, any questions for the Center Arts?
Where is the center located?
So if you were from Perm, I'd say the old St. Stan's Church, but since so many people nowadays aren't from Perm originally, we're about 2 blocks, I would say north of Main Street. It's not really.
To the golf
Go
course.
towards the golf course.
Okay, see, I was
About 2
backwards.
blocks.
I couldn't figure out the directions in this.
I know, we're crooked.
That's how I had a golf course.
Yeah, so like on the way to the golf course or on the way towards like Big Pine, Little Pine.
It's the
Yeah,
big
it's a
old Catholic
Big old
church.
church. Yeah.
Be like 4 blocks behind
You'll
your shop.
notice it when you
Just
drive.
before we see the heights.
I'll see what all these Perm people tell me.
Yeah.
All these landmarks.
Here's all these landmarks. So and
Come
so
on.
lives next door. Someplace safe used to be right next door.
Yeah.
So the
Matt
building
Blakner lives
and
across the street.
The
Yeah.
health classes that are coming up are really
The
awesome.
Ruttons
So,
apartment buildings.
like, it's gonna start in August. That first one's gonna be like, a leaf bowl, so you're gonna use like actual foliage to make your bowl. She's got different ones for every month. December, you can come make Christmas ornaments. With wine, you want her to serve wine? Oh, well, we gotta talk to the city.
Can you use your free bottle that you want?
Yeah, you just go on our website. Yes, yeah, and so I have plenty of posters if you're so inclined to pick one up and to put at your business as well. So I'll just leave them up at the front for you to grab.
Okay,
Awesome.
Katie.
Thank you, Katie. Thanks for all you do. You can get busier and busier and busier.
Excuse me, Nick, you
Yeah.
got a question for the art in the park, is there, this concert series, is there a fee,
No.
free will offering?
Thank you, Sue. It is free will offering, hopefully. So I've only been executive director for a month. I'm picking up where it was left behind. We are a little behind on our sponsorship. So we would appreciate any sponsorship if your business is willing to sponsor the event. We're about $3,500 short of what it's gonna cost us for the summer, but we've made the decision to just go ahead with it no matter what. And we're better at getting started earlier next year on collecting sponsorship. So we may ask for a free will offering. Our intent was never to have it be that. Our intent was for it to be free for the public to come and enjoy.
Now, one more question, do you still have tickets for the $10,000 raffle?
Oh, gosh, yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, we've got like, I think we've got like 300, 400.
So we upped our
Chamber
game
office.
for the 10K raffle this year. Instead of selling 250 tickets, we're selling 500, but we're giving away $10,000 twice. And that will be in October.
And 6 $500 consolation prizes.
Yeah, tons of prizes. And honestly, you guys, that's how we pay the heating bill.
Yeah.
So, if we-
So buy a ticket.
Yes.
Unless
that's
you
how
wanna
we pay
freeze.
For all of those expenses that never go away when you have a building, for the year.
You have those tickets with you?
I don't, but. we
Chamber
have that.
office.
Chamber, yes.
They're at a bunch of different places too. There's like
Yeah.
a spot in Dent, Richville.
Main Street Express, Jean's Sports Shop has them, PF I Love You has them.
But just stop at the chamber on your way out of town.
Yeah.
Come visit us.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks, Katie.
Yep.
Next on the agenda, we did have Ron Groback from Otter Tail to talk about theirs, but I don't see Ron here, so we'll skip right over to Ron.
Thanks.
Next, we have Lisa Peterson. I did see her, and there she is. Update from Relay for Life. So, thank you, Lisa.
Well, thank you for inviting me to talk to you about Relay. I appreciate how the interest of this group and the tremendous support we get from the communities involved in the Relay for Life Otter Tail. Our event, I think it says here, July 14th. Oops, that
Oh,
was
that's last year's.
So
I stole it from your Facebook.
we're the
Stole it
14th.
from
And
Facebook.
people get confused sometimes about the date, but we are always the second Friday in July. So the 8th is the earliest it could possibly be, based on July 1st being before, and the 14th is the latest it could be, and it's much nicer when it's later. Just gives us a little bit, our attendance is a little bit down when it falls close to the 4th, and we compete with the big fishing tournament hoopla in Mills when it's the first Friday after the 4th. So this year we're lucky that we don't have that competition either. Not to brag, but just we always ask for the public to come out from Perm, and a lot of people have never been to the Relay. we are regarded by the state and the region as one of the premier events, which always makes me feel a little uncomfortable because I really believe that big a deal, but we've been the second in the state on fundraising for the last 2 years. Many relays have kind of died away. Very few relays do a traditional relay like we do, which is all night. A lot of them stop early. My view is if we're gonna light 2,000 to 3,000 luminaries, why turn around and blow them all out again? We might as well let them burn all night. And that is one thing I always invite people to do too, is come out in the middle of the night. If you don't sleep well, or if you have a night job, or you just feel like getting up and doing, it's a beautiful, peaceful time to just walk the track and see all those luminaries lit. So we are there all night and we welcome people to come anytime. Everything is, it's free of charge, so people can wander out at any time and do whatever they want and hopefully spend a little money out there when they come. What's new this year? Our honorary co-chairs are Pastor Aaron Bovendam and from Calvary and Dean Simpson. And we're really excited about, we're guaranteed that they'll do a good job of speaking, obviously. And really wonderful people. So we're excited about that. We get to have our Survivor Center this year. We couldn't in 2020 and it was scary the next couple of years. So finally we're back to getting to our Survivor Center, which takes place the night before the Relay for Life out at the golf course on the 13th. We have 4 new teams this year, which is really, really exciting for us. Some years we don't have any new teams. So we have a team that has come over from Crow Wing County, which is a haul from here. And she and her team have done relay for years, and that relay folded. So she's coming all the way over, bringing her team. They have always done a pancake breakfast, so that's something new this year. We are having a pancake breakfast starting at 10:30 at night and going till 4:30 in the morning. So it'll help those of us that have to stay up all night to have a little sugar somewhere along the way. But again, anybody from the public can come on. And that would be interesting to see how that goes. We have a new team from Otter Tail, from the Otter Tail area. Primarily probably staff from the Otter and community friends, etc. We have 2 family teams that have joined us. Both local families, so the Dahl family, Renee Dahl's family, and Andy Bookout has started a team for her sister, who's battling cancer. And her sister lives in the Fargo-Moorhead area, so she pulled some of those people from Fargo-Moorhead as well as her Lakeshore people. So that's pretty exciting. We have changed our schedule just slightly. After doing a little feedback at the end of, after last year's relay, what came through from captains were, actually, I'm amazed we could figure this out, but they wanted uninterrupted time to do their fundraisers, especially if they were food. It was inconvenient to shut it down for opening ceremony and start it back up, things like that. So we started activities at 5:30, but we're going to have a block from 5:30 to 7:30 for people to be able to get food and do activities, etc. Then we are going to start our opening ceremony at 7:30. I'll get you posters and schedules too. So, and then we'll have a shorter break between our 2 ceremonies, between the opening ceremony and the Luminaria ceremony, which was another request that people had. So Luminaria ceremony will start at 9:15. That's when we hear the honorary co-chair speak. So that's a little bit of a change. We started something last year to encourage the people, the team members that stay all night. By that point, by midnight, we pretty much raised all our money. There's not, the ceremonies are done, a lot of the public has gone home, and what's the incentive to skip? So, and about all I could think of is bragging rights. And so I started a deal last year where anybody that stays all night, teams that stay all night, not necessarily staying up all night, but being there all night, if they sign in per hour, they get a t-shirt that's the All Night Hope Club and on the back it says got Kevin. So that's something new, and I'm hoping that gets a little more excitement for staying on it. I can answer any questions you might have. I have a handout that has the Relay Week schedule on top of it and ways you can get involved. But we do actually have almost a Relay Week, so something that you would, I hope, be interested in is we paint the town purple. Actually, not only in Perham, but New York Mills, Otter Tail, Vince, I believe, Burgess for sure. So different people in those locations decorate, but our Paint the Town Purple committee members will be coming around to businesses on the 7th. So you can get a little kit to decorate your business in purple, but you can go all out. Some people order that, purple things so that they're really ready to do the whole works. But we do that 7th. We'll probably decorate downtown the evening of the 9th. We have our bank night on the 11th, so our captains come and turn in all the money they can. And on Tuesday 11th and 13th is the survivors dinner, 14th is the relay. So if you know of a cancer survivor that would like to go to the survivors dinner and you know they don't get an invitation, or they, you talk to them and they haven't gotten one in the past, let me know. And I will make sure that we get an invitation to them. So that's, I know it's very meaningful. So I will leave you the handouts and some posters. If you just want to pick me up on the way by, put in your business or a workroom at your company or whatever it might be. And if we run out, give me a holler, I can get you more. But I always like to do one last pitch about coming out to the relay. Anytime from 5:30 on the 14th. I know it's a Friday night in the summer, a lot of people like to be out on their pontoon or their patio and just socializing, but it's a great place to meet people and talk to people, and it's a really great spirited atmosphere, and I know the survivors really appreciate having people come out and celebrate that. It's a very meaningful event to them, and our teams love to have people come and spend some money at their campsites, and so please come, and we'll get these little things sent around, and I'll just leave the posters up here, and if you want to grab one on your way out, that would be great. Anyone have any questions? Okay.
Great.
Thank you.
All right. Get close to our hour here. I'm next on the agenda for the chamber update. So just a quick one. Chamber's doing really well. Just to note, we ended last year at 244 members. This year we're up to 256 members. So we're adding members, growing. Good stuff. Here's some of our newer members. We've got Tumbleweed Designs, Broke Axe, who are here, I think, Speckled Egg Bakery and Hip Shop, and Michelangelo's Steak and Bake. They all joined in the last few weeks or months or so. So welcome those businesses and use their services when you can.
What is Broke Axe?
Broke Axe.
Do you guys
What's
want to
Broke
stand up
Axe?
and introduce yourselves?
No better time than now.
We're just gonna do it together. I'm Ashley Hammond. I currently have an accounting business called Happy Balance Accounting. I don't know if you of you have heard of it or not. I've been on the chamber for about 5 years with that. I used to live in Burgess, and now I live right outside of Perham on a past the little art center. So it's and my fiance, Joel Hershey.
No, I'm from Stable, partially relocated.
We have 13-year-old boys. They're 6 months apart. So we're very back and forth, split half and half, other parents, other time, other fun stuff, right? But now they get to build and work. So they're busy. So what we are, is, so axe throwing. It's becoming a new fad. It's really popular in bars and in locations. We kind of want to bring that home. or bring it to your backyard, or bring it to your family reunion, things like that. So it's literally an export. It stands up, it folds down, you can fit it in the back of a pickup. You can trailer a bunch of them. Each board comes with 2 axes, and it's by the day. So most places that you go, it's by the hour. It's like $35 an hour to go and axe at a board, right? Well, ours start at $120 a day. As many people, as much throwing, and everything you can handle, right? And you can get multiple boards, do multiple days. We do offer delivery for those that can't come pick them up. We do prefer pickup, but it's not mandatory. Also, everything on our website is built consumer friendly, okay? So you go on there, you look at the calendar, you pick your days, you pick your time. We do offer 2 different times of day on our website currently, but we're built with RefriGo. It's a rental platform for just rental equipment. Think pontoons, snowmobiles, all of that type of thing. So it's paired with that. So we had to put a time in it. If the times don't work, give us a call. Send us an email, a text message, anything. But then when you're on there, you pick that. You can select delivery. You can select, I'm going to pick it up myself. You also need to sign your waivers. There's waivers for events and there's waivers for rentals. They are 2 very different situations. And then we get notified that there's a new booking, and then we come pick it up and we bring it to you. It's really that. So look us up. We're hoping to be year-round, indoor and outdoor. I mean, as long as you can block an axe, you'll be fine. A lot of people are intimidated by axe throwing, but it's no different than tossing a beanbag, honestly. It's just a little weird.
It is surprising how many people are terrified to try it.
And if you do just want to try it, just come over. We're located on Highway 8 right next to the vet clinic. I'm there 90% of the time. And weekends, we're usually there anyway. So if we're not there, just send us a text and be like, hey, I want to try it out. We're not very far. So.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys.
All right, the other big thing for the chamber this week, it's obviously Turtle Fest week, right? So we've got races on Wednesday and Friday, parade on Friday. Also, the eating contest is on Friday. We've got probably half the field in here right now, at least the big competitors.
We're seeing some like eyes darting, a little bit of tension.
Training. Yeah.
Might be a little
Myself will be
tension
there,
between
so if you
Katie
wanna
and
come
Trevor.
see us with buffalo sauce all over our faces.
Katie's been going out getting in people's heads.
Yeah. So that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be right here on Friday noon, out front of the pizza ranch.
Yeah, another 2 tents out there.
Come and cheer us on. We also got the street fair downtown Friday and Saturday, so Main Street will be closed 3 blocks Friday and Saturday, and until noon on Sunday. And then the street dance is Saturday night with Jacked Up, there under the tent. So lots of stuff to do. Tons of other events too going on throughout town. So check out perham.com/turtlefest. We'll line up there. So fireworks. Yep, big show fireworks. So, yeah. That's all I got. John, city updates? What's going on?
So there's construction happening.
Really?
Yep. It's happening. County 8 should be done this week. So for everybody that's referred to County 8 already, that should be done this week. The last section of that we have to do is from 3rd Street, so right by the Tuffy's headquarters, to Main Street. So we don't have a time frame on that yet. We'll let you know as soon as we know. Obviously, the Burlington Northern has a little bit of control on that one. So when that happens, we'll definitely let you know. There'll be a small detour for probably a few weeks, maybe a month on that. Otherwise, the southwest part of town, so 4th and 5th Avenues, 4th and 5th Streets, southwest are completely under construction. Pretty destroyed down there right now, but they're moving along fairly steadily. Probably another month left of that. What else do we have going on? 51, the county is accepting bids on that this morning. So County 51 should get done this fall. And that'll be from the north side of the tracks all the way up to County 60. So if you think, again, going by Westwind, the golf course, Zorbas, that'll get reconstructed this fall. Otherwise, last night we did, unfortunately, we had to fill a council vacancy. So as many of you knew, Jim Johnson, he had passed away. He was on the city council, so the council appointed Brian Meyer. So Brian Meyer, longtime area resident, farmed for many years, just moved into town about 6-8 years ago. He was appointed to serve the remaining about 1.5 years of Jim Johnson's term. So he'll be joining us July 1st as a council. Otherwise, it's pretty business as normal. Questions,
So long did
concerns?
it take, was it 2 months, 6 weeks?
What's that?
County 8, that was really fast.
We're pretty fast, yeah.
So 51 will probably go the same.
Yeah, be similar. It's a different contractor, but they should roll about the same. It's a full depth reclamation, yeah. So it should be pretty quick. So, yeah, same process. It'll be under constructor. There'll be flaggers that work sometimes. When there's the problem is, so as you can imagine, there's like 100 access points. So a flagger, is only at the beginning and the end, but when you have 100 access points in between there, those flaggers don't necessarily always work. So they kind of gave up more or less. But it happens. But
Don't drive on the wet
just-
tar.
You just gotta watch it.
They
Don't-
literally
don't-
said that
don't
to
be
me.
right
Just
behind
don't
the
drive
table.
on the wet tar.
Don't be
Like,
behind the table. Yeah, you'll see.
thanks.
Otherwise, like Nick said, a lot of events going on, busy summer.
It's like,
EK Golf Scramble coming up July 23rd, or June 23rd,
And beanbag.
and Beanbags.
If you like trash talking, beanbags is the deal.
Yeah. Yeah, otherwise, that's all I got. Okay.
Thanks, John. Anybody else? Open mic here. You got the floor. Updates. Wait.
Got that.
Go for it. Come on up. Whatever
Wait.
you
A
got.
little brief introduction, I guess. My name is Blake Olson. You might know, or you probably know my wife. She's the middle school counselor here in town, Katie Olson. I purchased Jack Chivers Realty. We have an office just off Main Street. You might know Jason, but Steve. I would imagine that knows Jason.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, yeah. Couldn't make it because they moved into their barn. We got that all done, so you apparently did sleep golf. So it's awesome.
Cool.
But I took over the company in January. A big focus shift for me is for the company in general is I want agents that are community focused. So like coming to this, it's really cool for people to hear all these voices and see other people talking about community is really important. So I want my agents to be community focused as well. I want them to be in it, doing it. So I don't know, there's lots of real estate agencies around, there's lots of options. I don't know, we try. We're trying. So that's the minimum. So thanks. Appreciate it.
Another one of our new members. Anybody else?
Big shred day, June 27th.
June
Community
27th.
composting. Get rid of all those documents safely.
June
Or
27th.
recycle after.
What happens to those after they're shredded?
They turn into big
Recycle.
paper bales and turn into new paper.
Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Shredded
Recycle.
paper is recyclable as long as it's contained and it's not like the confetti party that we don't want.
And this is a safe way of recycling,
Yeah.
so your information doesn't just end up on the street where bad characters are.
I think this is your new best friend.
Yeah.
He's the attorney section Friday.
Chuck?
Perm Health, Chuck from Perm Health, we signed 2 new physicians in the last month and a half. One is Dr. Lindsay Haugen, that's Dr. Matt Haugen's wife. She's family medicine and then a 1-year fellowship in OB, so she's got some advanced training, including C-sections and that kind of thing. And then Dr. James Bear will be a new ED doctor starting this fall. And with those 2, we have 5 new physicians starting from August to November.
Fantastic. Thank you, Chuck. Lee from the
The
back.
26th of June, Perm Health will be starting therapy in the therapy pool. So that'll be, we're basically not gonna open that up it's not part of your membership of the PAC. You have to buy a punch card in order to use it, because it is a state licensed therapy pool, so it's a little bit different. But we're gonna give it probably the first couple of months to work with the hospital, figure out their schedule, make sure everything's good on that. And then we'll be opening it up for anybody who wants to buy a punch card, go in there, do some some of your own exercises, excuse me, some of those kinds of things. So we'll have fibromyalgia charts, exercises already up in there from, that we're getting from the hospital on some exercises you can do, so you don't have to be with a therapist. If you buy a punch card and you want to go in, water temperature is right around 95, 96 degrees, air temperature is 97, and that's on the pool deck and in the locker room. So, again, so that when you're out of the water, right now you don't freeze, lock up your joints, and doesn't do you any good to be in the water. That's kind of the design of that facility. Right now, it looks like we're still on pace to be opening the front on the 19th. So next Monday, we should be starting to use that front entrance. I asked for an update from Hammers. I didn't get anything before the meeting, so we're just gonna go with that. If you go and you see cones and you can't drive on it, then you know that it's not working. So.
Is the paving done?
The paving is done, yes. My understanding is the furniture is coming this Thursday, and then they're gonna start striping it. And then we're all set, ready to go. There'll still be some work that's going on throughout the entire pack, because we're not done. We gotta do punch lists and touch-ups, and so we'll have to, we gotta put up new walls essentially, in the back fitness area. So we'll be kind of rearranging some things going out throughout the summer, but we're 98% done, so.
It's coming close, almost there. Awesome. Thanks, Lee. Anybody else? Otherwise, we'll get to our drawings. Shiloh? Get to the drawer. All right, the first one's gonna be, we'll start with Pizza Ranch. 2 take and bake pizzas.
Joel Hershey.
There you go.
Come on down.
Do I keep trying?
Yep, keep drawing. We're gonna go right on to Zorba's. Yeah, pull your own name.
Erica.
All right, let's go to the buffet.
Is Ashley Drews.
Hey,
Yeah.
not much. All right, let's see, how many tickets? We have 2 tickets. We give them away as a pair.
Probably.
Let's give them away separately. Then if they want to bring 2 tickets, they can buy tickets.
Yeah.
Trevor.
No, it was Trevor Conley. Sorry.
Oh, my apologies.
Wasn't you.
Oh.
Wrong Trevor. Maybe you'll win the next one.
The other Twitty.
Lisa.
Thank you.
Okay. We got 2 more. Lots of prizes today. Lakeside Tap. Gift
50.
card, $50 Lakeside Tap.
It's not.
Was it you?
Yeah.
You win again.
You didn't pull it, so.
I didn't pull it. It's not rigged.
Put you on that last one. And another $50. We're going with the cactus. Who's going with the cactus? No.
Boy, I'm a shitty drawer.
So where do you want to have lunch?
All right, that's all we have.
We'll do a little lunch tour today. I mean, when you come to everyone,
Yeah.
That's
That's all right.
you have to be here.